back seat's soaking. I've got a proper wet ass now. Hello everyone, Rob from Field Sports with Speed. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I know everyone quite enjoyed the how to shoot crow video, so now we're going to have a look at shooting some pheasants. We're going to be shooting some clays because obviously trying to do it on a pheasant shoot would be quite difficult, but I'll pass on a few little things that I know have helped me in the past, and we'll break it down into some little sections and see if we can maybe pass on a few little tips. You might be able to see up behind me I have got a Huntsman trailer trap at the top, which shows a very good simulated bird. We're going to get up the top, unwrap that, and we'll come down here at the bottom and try and hit a few. Look at this for an absolute meaty setup. The Huntsman trailer. Let's load her up. So you got on, and on. Oh, it is chilly this morning, so I'm going to get straight into this. Right, so first things first is gun fit. We need a good gun fit. If we can't see where we need to chuck that lead, we're not going to get on to our full potential. Here we have my little Betsy blazer. I'm not saying you have to shoot a blazer because you can do it with anything as long as the gun fits. I have my gun shooting full eye over, probably higher than what most people would, but I like to be able to see the target I'm shooting. If I can see it, I can shoot it. I can try and demonstrate now. I don't know how well this will go. Obviously it's unloaded, I'm by myself, but I'm going to aim the gun at the camera to see if you can see where my eye is sat over that rib. So it sits quite high over the rib. That means my gun's shooting quite high, but as long as you've got your gun and you're looking straight down that rib and you can see over the top of that gun, you are going to be able to shoot these birds a lot easier. If you're unsure of your gun fit, go and see a professional. Any reputable gun shop or person who teaches or coaches will soon be able to tell you if your gun is fitting. Okay, the next bit, footwork. Footwork is the biggest thing I see out in the field people doing wrong. If you're out of swing or you're not moving your weight in a nice straight line, you're going to miss the birds down the side or just with you generally off balance. When we're shooting a driven target, obviously this bird is directly in front of me here. I'm going to face my body, so I've got my front, obviously I'm left-handed, but my right foot will be forward. If you was a right-handed shooter, your left foot's going to be forward. So you need to lean into that bird up here to then transfer your weight back. Transferring your weight from your front foot to your back foot will help you keep a nice straight line. If you're off balanced or feet wide apart, you're going to be swinging through and it just won't feel like a nice straight line. So transferring that weight from your front foot to your back foot will help so much better, almost like a seesaw motion. Just a nice line through the bird, get in front and shoot it. So here's the perfect example of bad footwork. I'd set myself up to shoot this as a driven bird and they cut across me and turned into a crosser. My footwork was wrong and I ended up missing the bird. So always make sure you change your footwork if you need to. Whereas with this shot shortly after, I changed my feet to take it as a crosser. I had a nice smooth shot and I killed the bird. You'll have heard me on the crow shooting video, line is key. It's very similar with pheasants and all sorts of game shooting. If you've got the line wrong, you're going to miss the bird. So technique, is it swing through, is it pull away, are you maintain leading? It might sound quite complicated, but you do need to know how you're shooting a target to be able to replicate it again. Most of my shooting on game is swing through. I find that's a lot easier to come from behind the bird, find the line, swing through it, see the lead I need to allow the lead that time to get to the target and squeeze the trigger. So swing through is a key technique that I use. Occasionally if I'm on a bird and I'm sort of like a little bit ahead of the swing through, I will just be out in front of it and shoot it maintain lead. On higher birds, I do this a lot more. Another key factor is what cartridges are you using. As you'll have seen, my preferred cartridges are either Hull or Ely Hawk cartridges. They're good shells, and there's one factor that really makes me use those cartridges, and it's confidence. You've got to have confidence in your cartridge, because if you haven't, you're losing straight away. I do like a big pellet. I generally shoot a 5 or a 4, depending on, you know, if they were lower, maybe I'd be more preferred to use a 5, or if it was really windy, I'd use a 4. Or if they're really high, then I'll use a 4, because that bigger pellet will do more damage. And as you'll have seen, I like using a half and half choke. I found that they work best for me, so I stick with a cartridge that I've got confidence with, and I stick with a choke that I like running them through. So I'm ahead of the game already, because I know if I put that lead in the right place, that bird's coming down. And the last thing is practice. Practice, practice, practice. You don't have to be out in the field shooting to practice. You can have your gun at home when you're there of an evening, just pick it up out the cabinet, have a few swings, make sure that you're mounting it nicely and you're nice and fluent with your movements. That will help you, because if you haven't shot since last month that you was on a day, and then all of a sudden a month later you're out on a day, you're so unfamiliar with your gun that it's going to take you a morning to get used to it again. And you hear a lot of people having a bad morning and getting better in the afternoon. Well, if they'd have practiced for those weeks prior, they'd probably have started the morning really good and then done the afternoon really good as well. So practice, even in your house. You don't have to be pulling the trigger. Just keep that gun going in your shoulder. Practice, practice, and you'll do well on the day shooting. Okay, with all that said, let's get our ear protection on, have a look at a few of these birds and actually put what I've said into practice. We're gonna have a go at the straight driven target to start with. Obviously I've got my gun, I know it fits, I love shooting this gun. I know it's not the right sort of game shooting gun as most people would associate a game shooting gun to be, but I've got confidence with it, so I like shooting it and I shoot fairly well with it. So let's have a go. I'm using a cartridge which I've got confidence with, the Ely Superbs. I'm only shooting a clay load because I'm only shooting clays. There's no point in me shooting a game load because I'm not trying to kill an actual living creature. So we'll just use a little 7.5 28 gram fibre. I'm going to shoot this technique wise as a swing through, because it's just a general 30-yard driven target. It's fast but not too fast. So I'm going to find that line from the bottom of it, come through it and squeeze that trigger. Right, so there is the trap at the top of the hill, and I've got solo delay on. So it's that one there. And then we'll see this nice straight driven target up and over my head. So let's have a go at a straight driven to start. Okay, I actually missed that to start with. I was giving it nowhere near enough lead. Just goes to show, even with a clay, you got to get through it. If you're missing a game bird, generally you're going to be missing behind it. I knew the line was right, I just needed to create more of a gap on it. I have moved position, so now we're going to be shooting a right to left crosser. So trying to simulate, rather than having a bird coming straight driven, this is one that's going to be just to the side and you're going to shoot it more like a crosser. So I'll release it now and you'll see that it's a nice tasty crosser. We're now shooting it as a crosser, so in turn our footwork will change. So whereas before I'd have been facing directly towards the target, because it's now going to the left, I'm going to swing my stance around to the side. So I've got a full movement all the way through that target. So swing through, nice steady line, body open. And again, got to press the button, haven't I? Lovely. Good push at the end, just carries on that gun. You can see I'm swinging all the way through my body, so I can keep that gun travelling where I want to. If I was standing with my feet more like this, as I come through it, I'd be rolling the shoulder, I'd be off balance, I'd miss that target. So that footwork, dancing round, there it is, bang, perfect. Got my stance open, I could shoot that target nice and comfortably. Okay, I am going to have a go at this target now at quite a distance, so you should be able to see, hopefully on the shot cam footage, if I can capture it and not have any technical issues. So hopefully we'll see a bit of a gap on this. Let's give it a go. Oh, no bird. Oh, black edge. Wow, now that is a gap. Oh, that is a big push. So if I get desperate on a target that's big, I literally just push out to a spot. Because it's so unnatural shooting such a big gap, I just spot shoot it out to a place. Let me see if I can do it again. I've got one shell left, so pressure's on. They're empty. Missed it. Bugger. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. It's by no means the factual way of doing it. It's purely how I've done it. I've been shooting for over 20 years now. You know, I have picked up a few things along the way, and I'm just trying to share with a few people who are maybe struggling or want to learn on how I do things. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will catch you on the next video soon.